Chelsea take the lead, but bottle it. Southampton come from behind to get their first home victory against Chelsea since 2013. That is 2 away defeats for Chelsea Football Club so far this season. More dropped points in the Premier League for Thomas Tuchel's men. What's going on? Kai Havertz, another disaster class from him. They can't keep goals out. They lose their attacking impetus. Are we looking at a Tuchel problem, a player problem, or is it a combination of the two? More money spent, more players on the way in, but the midfield battle not good enough again. Chelsea having problems at the start of the season. Smash that like and that share button. Let's go.
Absolutely magnificent.
Another disappointing night, no doubt about it at all, for Thomas Tuchel and his men. Beaten in every single area of the pitch. You can't get away from it. Every single area of the pitch, they were second best in. The opening, I want to check when they scored because this is important information. The opening 20 to 25 minutes, they were the better team. And then a brilliant strike from Lavia. Brilliant strike. Get Southampton back into the game. And from that point until the final whistle, Southampton were the better team. They had the better chances. They had, in my opinion, not the majority of the ball. We know they didn't have the majority of the ball, but they had the better play. A lot of Chelsea's possession was non-impactful. A lot of Chelsea's possession, it didn't do very much. And you had a number of players having absolutely anonymous performances. Hakim Ziyech, Kai Havertz, Jorginho, Mason Mount. Loftus-Cheek went off injured, but impotent, flaccid, pointless performances. They make substitutions. Pulisic, Chilwell, nothing when they came on. Broja, maybe the first 10 minutes he was on was full of energy, running and working hard, but nothing happened. And if it wasn't for a world-class block from Cucurella, this would have been 3-1 to Southampton. I believed at halftime Chelsea would turn this around, but they couldn't get it done. And whether people think I'm being hyperbolic or whether people want to believe what I'm saying or not, there's something wrong with this Chelsea team at the moment. There's something not quite working. Very well they did against Leicester, okay? To win the way they did with 10 men. They deserve praise for that. But it's too many games early on this season where they're just losing their shape. They're losing their togetherness. And I want to know what you think that is. Is that individual players not being good enough? Is it a lack of midfield? Is it Thomas Tuchel's system? I want your take and your thoughts on this because that's quite a number of points dropped very early on for one of the best teams in the league. And for a team that spent so much money. Just looking at it now, it's 1 draw and 2 defeats. And in their last 4 games, they've won 1. You know, it's not good enough. It's not good enough for a team of their level. It really isn't. Tuchel is the second manager to get sacked. Is what Andre Augustus thinks is going to happen here. I told you Tuchel is a bottler, is what's been stated. Tuchel and his favourites equal pathetic performances. I'm tired of this team. All they do is pass backwards. At least we're getting Garvey. I can't pronounce his name again next year. You are getting him. 90 million euros you're spending on him. Maybe you could do with him right now, if I'm being absolutely honest with you. The passion and desire and heart from Southampton. Listen, you have to give Southampton a lot of credit tonight. They worked hard. They were organized. They were very good against Man United, and some would say unlucky to walk away with nothing from that game. But tonight they were even better. And Chelsea didn't have the defensive stability that United did. And they didn't have the quality up front. You know, we obviously had our Bruno moment. We created chances after that as well. Before that and after that. Chelsea had the opening 25 minutes, and I just thought they're going to run riot. I looked at it and thought, Sterling's got that goal, that early goal. You know, what could he go on to do from this point? And he couldn't do anything. And I think one of the most worrying factors for Chelsea has got to be this. That is 3, 6, 8. 8 goals conceded already by Chelsea this season. 8 goals in 5 games is not good enough. Chelsea have major problems and look the worst of the top 6 sides at the moment. Chelsea aren't making the top 4 with how they have looked so far. Awful is what Josh believes there. Do some more of your super chats that are coming through. No Reece, no Party. Also, Mount Havertz should be benched. I had to say this about both I mean, the second goal I felt was because of Mount and Havertz. People said Havertz made the right run. There's a lack of cohesion between the two of them, and there has been for a while. And they gave the ball away cheaply and conceded from it. But Mason Mount, another game, very little from him. Kai Havertz, another game, very little from him. And to take a lead against a team that's going to be mid-table, when you want to be looked at as potential title contenders, when you want to be looked at as definite shoo-ins for the top four, when you want to consider yourselves to be one of the favorites for the Champions League, is not good enough. And something needs to be done about Mount. Something needs to be done about Kai, because they are not pulling their weight. And Chelsea have never been a football club to stand on ceremony. Chelsea have never been a football club to allow mediocrity to ensue. At least when Broja came on, he was trying. But by then, you're up against a very difficult team to break down, very difficult team to beat at this moment in time. They're in, 2 or 3 games of good form, and their confidence is growing. Broja wasn't given long enough. When is Tuchel going to give Broja the opportunity that he deserves? When are they going to go and spend the money and bring Aubameyang in? They need to do something. Lengan Sweet here says, I hope City, I hope Man City out, but back Romero, Lavia, Baller doing bits at Southampton, and Chelsea not getting top 4. Been saying it, washed club. Terry, it's so simple. It's laughable. We need a DM. And, I've kind of overlooked that the majority of the summer, and I'm starting to see it. I'm starting to understand why Chelsea fans were so adamant about it. Tonight, most definitely, you could see the issues there. Monstar here says, it's a disgrace. Listen, Monstar, you want to come on and have a little chat, my friend? I'll send you the link. I thought I'd already sent it to you. I sent it to them, but I DM most people the link all the time. That might be the Monstar. It might not be the Monstar. It could be the Monstar, but I'll send you the link, my friend, in case it is. We'll be taking calls later on in the show. We'll be able to get you on and have your say. Be good to know what you think and feel about it, my friend. Tuchel needs to go. The players don't want to put their bodies on the line for him. Let's face it, is what winner wins got to say. Josh King here says, where's the character in this team? They made their name under Tuchel for not conceding, and they are now shipping goals for fun. Tuchel won't last. Listen, no manager lasts when their team's losing. Very, very rarely does that happen. Mikel Arteta would probably be a standout example of someone that has broken that mold as an example. But right now, you're absolutely spot on with that. There is no character in this team when things go wrong. And, you look back at the Leicester game. If there was 5 more minutes, would they have conceded? Maybe. They were very good against Tottenham. Very, very good indeed. But they haven't been able to grow from that point. And, 2 away games on the bounce, getting comprehensively beaten, getting comprehensively outplayed in the important areas. Having the most possession doesn't mean you outplayed your opponents. Not in my opinion. Road running, non-technical British players out. Yeah, I mean, British players like Kai Havertz have been playing terrible for Chelsea. British players like Mendy, letting them goals in have been absolutely awful. In relation to that. You look at the team tonight in terms of players that didn't turn up. Hakim Ziyech, I mean, how more British can you be than Hakim Ziyech? And he made them mistakes tonight as well. Come on, bruv. This is nothing to do with the people being British. Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz and Mendy have been poor recently. They're British? No. This is players, nothing to do with their passports. Come on, my friend. Drop the xenophobia. Outside of Tottenham, Chelsea have not had a good 75 minutes in any game. Defensively, all over the place. But similar to last season, that attack isn't a threat, is what Joshua Jack thinks here. David said Arsenal have not played anybody significant. I guess Southampton are significant. Chelsea are leaking goals, and it is a system issue, is what Kenny believes. So the interesting take that they are leaking goals. It's crazy. I didn't expect this year. I've never seen a team that falls so much after conceding 1 goal, played brilliant for 30 minutes, then they score, and we just hide. And you know what, Eric? That's why I believe it's a character issue. Because when you're in the ascendancy, you're doing well. When you went down to 10 men, it actually made your team galvanize and you played better. It's like there's no fight in this team. When it starts going wrong, these Chelsea players don't want to fight. Bro, we are garbage today. No top 4 for us, is what Phil says. Now, look, that is a little bit premature. It's still very early in the season. To say no top 4 from this point, I think is wrong. If you don't improve in particular areas, then 100%, I think you're speaking facts there. I do. Let's do some more of your comments here. Member chat here. Okay, you're talking to each other. I did hear tonight as well that did Timo Werner get a hat trick tonight? Does anyone know? Is that true? Did Timo Werner get a hat trick tonight? Someone said, I saw something in a group chat and it said Timo Werner hat trick. I don't know if that's true. That will just have an insult to injury, won't it? He did. He got a hat trick tonight. Wow. We've sacked managers for less. Tuchel on thin ice is what Lamin believes. This comment here says, I think Koulibaly is too small for the Premier League. Those additional inches cause that deflection on the second goal. I'd take a solid 5'10" versus a leaky 6 foot. Obviously, a little bit of banter there. Absolute disgrace. Southampton celebrating a win against a team like this. Hope Gray and Souness and Richard Keys discuss this soon. See a little bit of Arsenal salt. There. They're still feeling after those comments the other day. John T, thank you for that super chat. I really do appreciate it. Come outside, David. Where are you? So far, none of the Chelsea fans buying Matt have turned up backstage. I don't know where they are, licking their wounds. I really want to speak to Daniel. Who wants to speak to Daniel? I need to speak to Daniel. We do. De Jong should think twice. Do you know the irony? I still think he'd pick Chelsea over Man United, but right now he might not. The way we are playing, we will not be, there will be no top four is what. Yeah, listen, Phil, I agree. If Chelsea don't improve from this point, there won't be top four. But if Chelsea don't improve, I honestly don't see Thomas Tuchel lasting. If Chelsea don't improve from this point, the manager won't stay. And I don't care how much money they've spent on him. I don't care how much money they've given him. If these performances continue, Thomas Tuchel won't last at Chelsea Football Club. And I know people will say it's a new Chelsea, new ownership. It's different now. It's not the Roman era. More time's going to be given to managers, etc. I'll believe that when I see it. That isn't a Chelsea thing. That's a football thing. Very rarely a manager's given a lot of time when they're performing badly with the squad they've got. And they have got a good squad, Chelsea, a very good squad. There isn't a player. There are very few players in that Southampton team that Chelsea fans would want to buy tomorrow. It's about the team working together. That is galvanized and generated by the manager, in my opinion. It really, really is. Monstar's backstage will be joining us soon. My brother's here. Leeds and Southampton are massive. Arsenal ain't played no one yet. It's what Alexander Lacazette's got to say. Leeds Everton 1-1, is it? Okay, I hope Gordon scored 2 games running. Mad, isn't it? I know I'm not saying he's worth 70 million quid, but he scored 2 games running. So Zaha, 2 players linked with Chelsea, have got a lot of goals so far this season. They all want to come. They all want to come to Chelsea. Get the checkbook out. Beating Southampton isn't for everyone, is what Adrian's got to say here. Yeah, listen, I'm going to say this now. Like, Tuchel's got to get his team to improve. Tuchel's got to get them to be better. I'm not going to write Chelsea off at this point and talk about they won't make top 4. It's all done. Like, I'm not making a sweeping statement as of now. There are only a handful of what the points wise. They haven't even looked, right? It's not even worth looking. You know, they win the next 3 games on the trot, they could be top of the league, right? That's how quickly it can turn around at this stage. But I would be concerned as a Chelsea fan getting into your 5th game, moving towards your 6th in a very concertinaed season with the performances not getting better, with the money spent, with the manager that you've got. And I want to understand why you think it's going wrong. I want your opinions tonight, my friends. Tuchel is the only one to blame, is what John Doe says, because he's had the opportunity to sign a player that he wants. I know I can't. That player's name breaks my head. Guardiol. No, I want to say Guardiol. That's probably wrong. I'm so sorry. It breaks my dyslexia in half, but I know who you mean. 90 million for next season is crazy, considering his current 11 for this season not complete. It is, but they're just securing nobody else buys him. I don't think that's bad business. By the way, they won't be paying that money now. It's next year. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. But I do get people want to see a DM come in. Make sure you're all smashing that like button for us. Very, very important to the terrace that you get that done. I want to see this stream smash past 1,000 likes while we are live. I know you're not happy about your result, Chelsea fans, but support the terrace anyway, please. Chelsea play the stinkiest football, is what GR says. We have so many unhappy players right now. Peak for Tuchel. That's also true. Like, Ziyech's move today has collapsed. And then he started. That's the one thing where I blame Tuchel. Like, Ziyech doesn't want to be here. His deal to Ajax falls through and you play him. That's weird to me. That's a weird decision. My nan is in a wheelchair and has more ability to run for the team than Chelsea's players. There is currently no game plan, is what Joshua Loveless has got to say here. KJ, you coming on? KJ coming on show, right? KJ's coming on. Monstar's coming on. Matt's coming on now. Panel time on the terrace. Make sure you're smashing them, liking them, share buttons. I'm going to share the link with you guys soon as well. Let's see what they've got to say. Welcome to the show, boys. Monstar, welcome back to the terrace. I want to come to you first, bro. Another defeat, more points dropped at the beginning of the season. What's going on at Chelsea, mate?
Hold on, sorry. I mean, I did say, so the last time I came on there, but we had the other guys, and I said what I said about how bad we're playing, and I said we'll leave it till January, right? That's what I said. I said we'll leave it till January. I'm not going to say too much anymore because no one wanted to hear it. Everyone was just stuck in their stupid ways, blaming the same old. It's every year, right? Keep hearing it's the attackers, it's the attackers, it's the attackers. Tuchel's gone through what? About 3 sets of attackers now, right? The first season it was Giroud and Tammy. Last season it was Lukaku and Werner. This season it's Mount and Havertz. When are we going to actually address what the real issue is? When? Are we going to keep spending money on attackers every season and not address the build-up play? How is the ball supposed to get to the attackers? Do people not consider the domino effect? That midfield is an absolute shambles. I don't think people understand. It is so bad. But no one wants... my mic is acting up. No one wants to address that issue, right? No one wants to address that issue. I don't get. I'm tired. I'm tired of talking about it. It's not going to get any better, people. It's not. It's not going to get any better. We're not getting top 4 for being real. We spent around, what, 400 mil on attackers since 2018. And in that same time, we spent only 40 million pounds on a midfielder. One midfielder since that time. But we continually keep buying brand new attackers every season and expecting new results. When's it going to change? And then next season, they're telling me we're going to buy Josko Galvido or Gavardio or whatever the hell his name is. And what are we doing? What are we doing? What is Chelsea Football Club? What is Thomas Tuchel doing? I just don't understand it. Yeah, he's telling people he's rocking up in interviews saying we've got midfielders. We've got midfielders where there's no balance in that midfield. There's no balance. There's no defensive midfielder in that midfield. Listen, let me just close off and say this. I'm gonna be real with you, Terry. I'm not sure. You see, when Klopp and what's his name? Klopp and Pep came to the Premier League, you saw the way they changed up. They knew the Premier League is different to the leagues they've been in before. I'm not sure Tuchel knows that. I'm not sure. When I'm watching him, I ain't sure he knows what it takes to win this league. I'm not saying Tuchel out. I'm not, because I like Tuchel and I'm tired of hiring and firing the managers, right? But I'm not sure Tuchel understands this league properly. Because if you think you're going to rock in to the season week in, week out with Jorginho and Ruben, or Jorginho and Kovacic, or this and that, and you think that's going to work, then, sir, good luck to you, innit? It's what do they say? The method of madness is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. It's not going to change. It's not. It's not. This team is not better than it was last season. It's the same, if not worse. It's not getting any better. They could bring Aubameyang. It will be the same. And they'll be blaming Aubameyang, right? Who else does he want? Zaha. They can bring Zaha. It will be the same. They'll be blaming Zaha. Anthony Gordon. They'll bring him. It'll be the same. They'll be blaming Gordon. They will say the attackers are shit. We'll keep repeating this every single season. Every season. You will see. I'm not going to say, like I said before, I said I'll wait till January. I remember, Terry, I said, don't worry, I'll rock up in January. But it's not even January. Look at it. It's crazy, man. I don't know, innit? Next person can talk, man.
No, but listen, I hear where you're coming from, mate, and I get it. Matt, obviously, you've had a lot to say recently. First of all, the midfield issues, they keep getting worse and worse. You're spending lots of money in other areas. I've been someone who's kind of ignored it. I didn't think your midfield was as bad as what we're seeing, and it is. What's your take on it, mate?
Well, today we played a 4-3-3. We played Jorginho next to Mount, and Loftus-Cheek, the Twitter coaches wanted to play it. We played it. It's not going to work out. We definitely need an upgrade in midfield. I agree. But when we were lacking resources in defense, we had to fill in those spots first. Then we had to fill in our attack because that attack is rubbish. Monster, you can't sit here and then deflect our attack is rubbish. It is horrible. He brought in Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling is the only attacker who sees attacker has done well. Mount and Havertz are not footballers. They need to go. They are rubbish. And they've gotten a lot of chances. They've got a lot. They've had so many chances this game. Mount tried to do these chops, Ronaldo chops, and try to do all these skills. Couldn't do anything. He is useless. Aubameyang and Zaha are players who would work in our system because you said yourself, we are going for this young.
Okay, so let me ask you this question.
We're changing now. Hang on, wait. Let me just quickly finish.
Right, go on.
We're changing to a new Aubameyang and Zaha, who are experienced players who have the goals to back it up. Havertz and Mount never had any goals to back any of their case up in this league. So we're going for.
Mount had 29 goals and assists last season.
And where is it now?
Where is it? Okay, let me ask you this question, Matt. Let me ask you this question. Next season, or this season, if Aubameyang comes in, because it looks like he's coming, and it doesn't change, right? We run into the same problems. What are you going to say then? What is going to be your excuse?
What if it does work out? What if it does? Because we don't have anyone who can tap in the goals.
If it does work out, listen, if it does work out, I'll come out on here on this platform and say, I was wrong. I am wrong. Like, I'm not scared to do that. I'll come on there and say, I am wrong. I'm in the mud. I would admit it. I'm asking you, if it's the other way around and Aubameyang comes in and there's no results, the same stuff, what are you going to say then?
Obviously, we can have a discussion then when it happens. Obviously, we don't know how it's going to work out because what I see Aubameyang coming in, I can only see from what I can predict. And what I can predict is that Aubameyang will come in and he will do well because he's the only person who can put the ball in the back of the net. Because Havertz, this guy cannot put the ball to save his life in the back of the net, even if it's 1v1 against the keeper. He's rubbish. We just need someone to tap in our goals. I don't think everyone understands.
How many chances do we create? How many chances do we create?
They had a lot of chances on goal. How come Sterling can create his own chances? Because Havertz couldn't do what Sterling did. Because he's that useless.
How many chances do we create?
We create quite a lot.
If you look at, listen, when you're looking at the chances created, right? You've also got to take out margin for error. Every attacker misses chances. Go and look at it, right? Every attack. So if you take out the ones they miss because attackers will miss no matter who they are, how is the chance? Wait. Hold on. If you take out the chances because attackers miss, if you take out the chances attackers miss, yeah, how many chances do our attackers get? How many?
Every time Reece James on this field, Havertz will get a ball right to his feet. This whole season, he's had at least 3-4 times he should just tap the ball in the back of the net. He did not.
How many do you have today? How many have today?
I don't know, go look at it. I don't know. He had a lot of time on the ball. Mount had a lot of time on the ball.
That's not what I asked you. How many chances did he have?
He had 2 shots. He had 2 shots. He had 2 shots today, and none of them went in the back of the net.
How many quality chances do Chelsea as a team create?
I don't know. Tell me the stat. I can say Havertz had 2 shots. I just said Havertz had 2 shots.
Like every other Chelsea fan, when you ask,
Havertz had 2 shots.
When you ask Chelsea fans this question, hold on. When you ask Chelsea fans this, hold on. When you ask Chelsea fans this question, they struggle to tell you. That tells Chelsea don't create enough chances.
If you know, what is it? If you know, what is it?
It's shit. It's rubbish. That's what it is.
It's not the best. But again, where does our creativity come from? Bro. Usually when we play 3-4-3, where does our creativity usually come from? Our wing backs, right? And our wing backs are the ones who just cross the ball in the middle. We don't have anyone in that middle to just tap the ball in the back of the net. The thing is, today we played a 4-3-3. I agree. Jorginho is not enough for a DM. He's getting old. He's a good player, but he's getting old. I don't know. I know you don't like him, but he's a good player. But he's getting old.
He's not a good player.
He cannot do it.
He's not.
Okay. Well, he's a top 3 Ballon d'Or winner. You see how fun winner.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. He had a great patch, but in that same season in the league, he was shit. Do you remember? In the league,
I agree. He cannot play a whole league
in the Champions League and the Europa League.
I agree.
I mean, the Euros.
We need a De Jong. We need a net. We need someone else. However, we cannot fill every single position in one season. I understand that. Matt does need work. I agree.
Matt, if this whole thing about we need this attacker that can just tap in goals, you've got Sterling who knows how to do that. Surely you have to look at Tuchel and his recruitment priorities this season then. Because you're about to go spend 85 million on Fofana, which again, you've done very late in the window. You've got Koulibaly. You're about to spend another 90 M's for another defender next season. And yet you're scrounging around for Aubameyang this late in the window when you've clearly had resources to get this striker you so sorely need early in the window. Now, as a Man United fan whose manager's been getting made fun of and everything because for chasing the player for too long and not getting the right players early enough in, surely we have to look at Tuchel now and be wait, like this striker issue, in your opinion, is one of the biggest issues. Why did he not go and get a striker earlier?
No, I agree. I think the recruitment stage is a bit questionable. I'm not sure. Again, for Fine, I understand because we have to fill in the numbers, but I don't know this that German guy. I forgot his name. I don't know why we're kind of pursuing. Yeah, I don't know why we're pursuing him at this very moment. You're right. We need the Aubameyang, we need the Zaha, we need the recruitment there, and then we need to go and fix our defense as well. I don't know why we're going to spend big money for that when we need to go and invest heavily on our attack, because I think attack is what we need to heavily focus on. This season, Tuchel had to decide whether, because let's be honest, we were in a rebuild. We cannot fix our defense, our midfield, and our attack in one season. We had to do our defense to fill in the numbers, and our attack was generally that bad. Yes, we needed a midfield, but we couldn't fix all three in one season. I understand Tuchel having to not go for one particular position for just a season. But however, it does question me why he's going for these players like Vardy when the other positions need to be fixed.
I want to ask a question. I know we've got Jem and David here, and I get the argument of midfield versus attack. Is there, and we're going to talk Kai Havertz directly there because the viewers are asking for that conversation. We will with the boys, and got Winter Surfer and Zane, and we've shared the link for others to call in, and we'll mix things up on the show. But is Thomas Tuchel's system becoming is that part of the issue as well, or do you believe if you were to throw Casemiro and De Jong into your midfield, it would all be okay? Is it literally the personnel in the positions, or is there an element of maybe Tuchel's gone a bit stale? Maybe the players aren't working as hard for him. Is any of this on the manager from a system point of view?
David, you're muted. You're muted, bro.
I think it's a bit of both. I think he needs to stick to his three at the back system because we just look better in that. He played four at the back today. It just did not work because we don't have enough creativity in the middle. That's why we play three at the back so we can create wide. It's not even about our defenders can't defend. It's not even really about that. It's about we have no one in the middle who can create for us. And then you end up with a situation where a team scores one, they score two, and you play the whole second half and we don't look like we're going to score. That's what happens.
You know, I'm gonna ask something. Yeah,
got to play three at the back. Play three at the back. Stick to your system that you know will work with this team. Because right now you don't have the personnel to switch into your old system. And like Loftus-Cheek, I know he had a good game against Spurs, but I was at wing back. He's not good enough to play in centre mid, and we've all known that. And for some reason, everyone still wants to give him a chance. He's not good enough. He's just not. Like,
none of them are.
Yo, David.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Should you have bought Declan Rice?
No, it's overpriced. It's not worth it.
But yet you've got a massive issue in the midfield.
David, but he's not overpriced. But the overpriced argument. I'm sorry. No, he's not overpriced. David, he's not overpriced. He's not overpriced now. He's not overpriced. How is he overpriced?
He's going to do a couple adverts and get 20 mil.
No. David, how is he not overpriced when Man United have just spent 100 million euros on Antony? When Morgan Gibbs-White has just gone for 44 million. How is he overpriced? How is he overpriced when Chelsea have just gone and bought a relatively unknown? I know that people that watch the Bundesliga know who he is, but most football fans are saying, who's this guy you just spent 19 million on a centre-back for next year who hasn't kicked a ball here? So how is it overpriced to spend 100 million on a tried and tested, top-class, internationally proven DM that knows how to play in the Premier League? How is that overpriced?
Because he's not worth 100 mil. He's not. We have made this same mistake before where we sat here and we said, oh my God, what this team really needs is they need to just get someone who can fit in this gap. It's not that simple. It isn't. And we did that last year and everyone was screaming, oh, we got this brand new guy. And he just wasn't the answer. We cannot make that same mistake again. We can't just do it. We have to find other ways to solve multiple problems. We have multiple problems in this squad. If we drop 100 M's on one person, it is not a good idea. It's just not.
You've done it today. You dropped 90 million on one person today.
But Terry, that's next year. Not. You said this.
What's that got to do with anything?
That's next year.
No, hang on. Your logic is flawed. Your logic is flawed. You've just dropped 90 million today. No, wait. You've dropped 90 million today on a player to fix a hole in your team next year when Thiago Silva leaves? What's the difference?
Because let me be honest, Gvardiol for me is world class. Declan Rice
What?
is not.
How is he world class?
Because I watch Bundesliga every
He's
week.
12
Terry.
years old. How is he
Terry,
world class?
Terry, I watch him every week. I watch him every week. This guy has like not even like potential to be world class. Like when he comes here, he will be that guy. Like I'm sure.
They're
Let me
both
just-
very, very
But
highly
Declan Rice,
overpriced.
I
That's the
still
thing.
have questions over.
Let me just say this, Terry.
On someone in CDM is worth it. When
Okay,
you get
so hold on,
someone
hold on, hold on.
Paulinho, who was 20 mil at Fulham, who's balling out right now. You can do that.
I
in DM.
agree. Hold on,
You can
David.
do that.
I agree. Someone like Paulinho at Fulham would have been great. Do you know what I mean? And then that's just down to great scouting on Fulham's behalf. But Chelsea's issue, one of the main reasons this Chelsea team is as bad as it is because of a lack of a certain position. Due to that lack of that certain position or player in that position, we're having to move players all around the pitch just to fit one individual in and protect him.
But how does
Everyone.
hold on.
Hold on.
How does adding a DM fix our problem of scoring up front?
Hold on.
Explain.
You see, this is
Please,
This is why some people. This is okay. I'm hold on. I'm gonna explain it to you. This is why people talk about dominoes, right? Football is a domino. Something starts somewhere, ends up somewhere else. Again, I'm gonna say this as it is. Number one problem Chelsea have is they're unable to commit numbers forward when we have to commit numbers forward. Number two, we don't get numbers in the box. If you watch Chelsea play and we're trying to score, there's not enough numbers in the box. Number three, everyone's super techie 100% regista is 100% slow on the ball. He does not know how to move that ball quick enough. Number four, he cannot defend to save his life. So we have to commit other people and put them in place to save his ass. I don't think people understand how much.
Again, Monstar, answer my question.
Okay,
how
go
does
on.
Adding in a DM allow us to score more goals up front?
Okay, now, like I said before, if you add a competent enough DM, right, you can commit numbers forward.
But you can do that when you play three at the back.
No, we cannot. We don't. We don't.
What, you're going to play with two people at the back for the whole game?
It's not about two people at the back. It's about having someone that's there.
If you play three at the back, you can commit people forward. You can.
How often?
It's not about having a DM. It's about playing the right system with these players.
Okay. You watch Chelsea. Wait. You watch Chelsea a lot. I know we all do. How often? Look at how many players Chelsea get in the box. Can you tell me how many players on average Chelsea get in the box?
When we play well, we get our wing backs as high as we can.
We don't play well often. We don't. Look at how he's using conditional statements when we play well. How often do we play well?
We don't get high enough.
Why don't we get high enough?
When we sink to a back four, we play like trash, and everyone's still crying.
Why don't we play high enough?
Based on the evidence that you've seen, back four DM doesn't work. It doesn't work with these players. It doesn't. All the evidence you've seen, it doesn't work. It doesn't.
What were we playing when we got? What were we playing when we got smacked? When we got smacked by Leeds, what were we playing?
What were we playing? Leeds. Well, I don't even remember.
Oh, he's gone. He's forgotten. When we got smacked by Leeds the other day, what were we not playing the same back three? And you're talking about exactly. You're not on. The
thing is, Tuchel doesn't have the facilities for the back three right now. We don't have that third centre back there, but we cannot still force the player back for them.
Wait. But you just admitted it. That's what it is. He doesn't have the tools. What is the tool? The tool is the defensive midfielder. That is the tool.
Centre back, because you cannot play Aspilicueta as a right centre back.
Do you know what? And they're screaming.
What do you mean as P? We have Koulibaly, we have Thiago Silva, we have Chalobah. We're about to have Fofana. We have players. You cannot tell me we don't have centre backs.
No, we don't.
Aspi now has been relegated
Hey,
to
Monstar,
backup.
Monstar.
Stop using that excuse. You guys are just
Just-
making excuses, and I'm tired of it. Be real
Hey.
now. Let's start being real, innit?
Well,
Let's
yeah,
be
I'm the
real.
one sitting here saying Azpilicueta's not good enough for this team. He's the captain, he's a leader, but he's not good enough for this team. The centre back option is a worry. The CDM worry is an issue, but Declan Rice will not come and fix it. He was the one who will not come and fix it. De Jong is a much better opportunity. Ruben Neves is a
one
much better
second,
opportunity because De Jong is just
one-
too
one
good.
second.
But then you're splitting hairs. Like you're kind of arguing like Declan Rice won't fix it, but De Jong will fix it. That doesn't deter from Monstar's point. That proves his point that the midfield
It's part of
is
the
an issue on
problem.
his
No, but it's
No
not
one-
the main
no one
issue. It's
disagrees
part of the
with
problem,
that
but not the
point.
main
No
issue,
one
though,
disagrees
Terry.
with
It's
the
a part of the
Jem,
problem.
Jem, what you saying, mate? We haven't heard from Jem yet. What you saying, mate?
So, what drives me mad, to be honest, what I was annoyed with today, and why I was annoyed with the Leeds game mainly as well, is that when we go behind in games, like we did, I know that we're not going to come back. That's sad when you're a Chelsea fan, a team that's meant to be up there fighting for things. Yeah, we went behind to a Southampton team who were bang average, and we couldn't even in the second half create a good 3 or 4 chances in front of goal. That's embarrassing. And where does that come from? And how has that happened? Spine, weak mentality, and play. And look, you know, we can point fingers at Tuchel, but it gets to the point where you got to look at the players. And when you still have individual errors which lead to goals, which has happened in many games. When Chelsea lose games, it's usually a lack of concentration. It's usually something that we end up doing that leads to the goal, you know, and it happened again today. But it's the response, you know, and you look at the defence, and we brought Fofana, and we've got Thiago Silva, we've got Koulibaly. There's a spine there. But you're right. Monster's right. When it comes to the defence, the midfield, it's a part of the problem. You know, we can't have
Can you
Jorginho.
explain? Can you
Pick-
can
we
you answer?
can't-
Can you just answer these two questions? What positions are the spine, and who are the two players again that let us down again? Because
Well, the
one of them
midfielder-
in particular,
one of them, yeah.
one of them
Go
in
on.
particular, Tuchel renewed him after a dreadful season last season, one of the worst seasons,
I know you're talking
the
about.
worst season he's ever had. And not only renewed him, he gave him a pay increase, which I've never seen in my life.
So Jorginho's one of them who's been absolutely. We know Jorginho's just not good. I think Azpilicueta's on a serious decline. On a serious.
Why did
decline.
Tuchel give him a pay increase and a 2-year deal?
I don't know, Monstar. For whatever reasons, I don't know why he's done that. In theory, I honestly think that we want to have numbers to be able to rotate, numbers to be able to switch the team around. I don't think Azpilicueta is the player that we're specifically looking to just bring in to start games in and out. I don't. I think we should be used as rotation. But I just want to go back to what I was saying in the midfield. We know the midfield is an issue, and it's a part of the issue. You're right. Jorginho's not got the understanding in midfield to understand the role from a DM aspect, where to position himself. When you watched him today, how many times when he went forward or we lost the ball, did he just go running out rashly, chasing the balls down the wings and leave a gaping hole in the middle? He does that countless times in the game. And you look at the forward line, it's like chalk and cheese. Nothing's changed. You've got players that don't want to be there playing. You started Ziyech today, who didn't have a bad couple of, 15, 20 minutes in the game, and then he disappeared. He brings Pulisic on and plays him as a right wing back. Absolutely, should have took him off again. It was that bad. He was awful. Sterling is not unable to build up any chemistry with Mount and Havertz because they're in such bad form and they're in a rut. Yeah, but the problem is, and it's what we all should know 4 or 5 games in, and you know, I'm not content with it, but it's the understanding of knowing where we are at the moment. And the truth is, when they say the word transition and rebuild, this is not something that we're going to sort out in one window. And we need to understand that. And that's why I say to Chelsea fans, understand your expectations. We've gone and spent money on the central back area. Fine, I get that. Did we take too long in the summer window to get the players that we wanted? Fofana wasn't even on the list originally, you know, halfway through the window, you know, and we've got him in now. You look at where we are in the window at the moment, and we're talking about midfield. Yeah, we've got too many 8s that are trying to accommodate playing in the 6, and it doesn't work. And you look at the market, and we're chasing Frankie de Jong, looking to offer him 300k net a week. Other than that, the market's limited. So, you know, we're crying out for Chelsea to go and spend money in that area. I agree, it's an area we need to sort. But maybe they're just looking to accommodate areas that they can sort out now, to then sort out the areas that, like the DM areas, at summer, you know, the summer window next, just so that they can maybe have a bigger window, more options to choose from. At the moment, it's Declan Rice, Sangari, or De Jong. And De Jong doesn't solve the DM issue because when De Jong comes in, I guarantee you next year, we're going to need another midfielder in that position because Jorginho and Kante probably won't be here. So that doesn't just solve everything. That's what I'm saying to you guys.
And De Jong is not a DM. I don't know how
he
people
is-
come
he is
up.
a DM. He is a
He's
DM.
not.
And that's without the
He
forward
is.
line.
Bro,
That's
you-
without the
Watch him
forward
at
line.
Barcelona.
I
Watch
don't
him at Alex.
understand
He's a
what
DM.
this need for a DM. Like, why is it so specific? It has to be this idea of
No,
this
because
guy.
majority of
No,
you
no,
lot's
that's what
idea
you
of
lot
a
are
D.
saying.
No.
That's what you
Hold
lot are
on.
saying. I've
Majority
said,
of you.
no,
Wait.
Monster. I've
Go on,
said
go on.
all summer, and Jen will tell you the most important person we should be getting in is De Jong because our midfield needs improvement. I've said it all summer. I said
Does
over
De
Fofana,
Jong-
we should sign De Jong. 100%.
Chelsea's issue
But
in
so you don't have
midfield.
to sign a DM. It doesn't have
Hold
to
on.
be specifically
Chelse's
6'2",
problem.
so I can win the
Wait.
ball back
Hold
and,
on.
and sprint a lot. It doesn't have
Chelsea,
to be that.
no, because that's you lot's definition of a DM. Chelsea's problem in midfield is balance. They don't have balance. De Jong
Fine.
does not bring balance to this midfield. I don't think when De Jong's doing what he's doing, who's going to cover his ass? De Jong
De
likes
Jong
to
adds to
bomb
the pivot.
forward and do his stuff. Who's going to cover him?
Is De Jong a 6?
He's
Is De
not
Jong
a
a 6?
six. He's
He's
not.
a pivot
He's a
player.
six.
So we
Can he
require.
not play as a pivot player? Of course he
So
can.
what you're telling me is that we
He
require
can.
someone who will just sit in front of
course
the
he can.
back five. That's
We
what
don't
need.
play traditional
No.
6 as well, Monster. That's the thing. We don't play with a traditional 6
what-
anymore.
so-
Well,
so
maybe that's one of the reasons why we're struggling. Maybe we
So
need a traditional six.
the
even if
Chelsea
it's-
football,
when
the
I'm
Chelsea
looking at-
football scout. Explain what DM you want. Explain what DM you want. please.
Someone get me someone like a Casemiro. Get me someone like a Rodri. Those are proper midfielders.
Explain what that means.
Guys, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Explain.
Have you not
just
watched
say,
them
I
play?
want these two players. They're not available. Explain. Who do you want? Who do you want then?
What do you mean? Who
It's
do
a
I
limited
want?
You're
market
screaming
for the
DM. Who
midfield
do you
right
want
now.
as DM
It
then?
is. It's a limited market.
Bro,
That's what I'm saying.
You're
listen.
screaming DM. Who do you want?
Listen, let me not lie to you. I want Rice, but Rice cannot be bought this season, right? It's as simple
Yeah,
as
I
that. I
agree.
wanted Chouameni when I was
Yeah.
screaming for Chou. You guys remember I was screaming about Chouameni? Someone Chelsea
I
should have
wouldn't-
bought.
Yeah.
We pay scouts millions of pounds to go out and scout for these guys. If the scouts can go out and tell me they can't find someone, every single one of them should be sacked. Because what are you being paid for? What are you being paid for?
Guys, good chat so far. We are gonna go to some change the panel up a little bit in a few moments. But we want to do some super chats first that have come through. Clown Tuchel waiting for Rice. It's obvious the plan. I'm not reading the rest of it out. I'd say that anymore. I haven't heard that expression in ages. It's obvious the players are not enjoying playing for Tuchel anymore. Havertz hates playing up front, and we look like shite without Reece. DM needed ASAP is what G's got to say. Credit to Saints. Cole Walker-Peters was fantastic. Yeah, they're very good today. Very good. Terry, as a neutral, Chelsea should have prioritized the attack and midfield instead of defense. Defense last year was good. I mean, they did lose half of them though. Like
Yeah,
to be
we lost
fair,
two.
to be
We
fair,
were
We
lost
had no
two.
defenders.
He was weakened.
Yeah, to be fair.
when they left.
Chelsea fans finally seeing the light. They are advanced stats. GA plus G and GA are obviously terrible, miles off Arsenal and the top two. Andrew here says Monstar is right. You can have Haaland and Mbappe up front. It's pointless if you don't create for them.
It's true. Yeah.
Broya must start. Havertz not a Prem player. Overpriced. We just paid 100 million for Anthony. Yeah, I mean, and Anthony's world class though, based on David's logic. Chelsea spent over 200 million on 7 players. No excuse is what Beat says. David here says Chelsea fans, health is wealth. If you're in London and can't talk, shout. Oh my God, that's like a mental health thing, isn't it? Oh well, yes, listen, definitely make sure you do that.
Yeah.
Oh, the work permit requirements for Alexander Lacazette are unfortunately. Oh, did you get done again, KJ?
That was banter, bro. Banter.
Oh,
banter,
right.
banter.
Okay. Sorry. They are all Chelsea. These are all Chelsea fans. Well, me and KJ are not. We're going to mix it up in a bit. David, having a DM helps you build and sustain pressure. You create more chances and it leads to more goals. You need Rice more than the geezer you just signed. The name kills me. I keep getting it wrong. Sorry. We've lost.
What's his first name? Is it Josep?
Josko.
Josko.
This is an interesting point. Blaze here says this: we lost 5 games last season. We've already lost 2. That's got to be what I read a stat as well. You've already conceded something like 43% of the amount of goals that you did in the 19-20 season. Like, it's a lot of goals early on. We are here to have a meal. Chelsea trying to score goals by buying all defenders. Conte's current back 3 is Sanchez, Dyer, and Davies. Those players don't start for Chelsea. Crying about not having the right players is denial. Tuchel is dead, is what Josh King's got to say.
Nah. No, what it is, yeah. If you give the Spurs attack to Tuchel, they're bagging goals. You know what I mean? They are bagging goals. Like, come on, like that attack is better than Chelsea's attack.
Still need a creator.
Rice is in Tesco's, is what's said here, and Frankie is at a CDM. I was Matt, thank you very much, mate, for coming on and having your say, bro. I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. We're gonna bring Winter Surfer into the mix here to have a chat with us as well. But I wanted to ask you guys a question. There was a super chat I was going to put up, and it got on. I unstarted by mistake, so very sorry to the person that put this up. But he said there needs to start a serious conversation needs to be had about Kai Havertz, and I want to throw that out there. Is this guy really it? Is there still a player in there, or is he leveling out now and it was a waste of money? Like, what are you as Chelsea fans thinking about him right now?
I think he's gone next season. I don't think he wants to be at Chelsea no more. You can see it in his demeanor, in his facial expressions. He don't want to be here. A lot of the attackers in our team are just not enjoying the way we play. I don't think the way we play necessarily is we're not building a platform for our attackers to necessarily thrive on. Tuchel said it himself that he kind of expects a little bit more responsibility from the attackers, more than if he was playing a 4-3-3. So he kind of alluded to it. I'm not sure about the role we're using him in. I feel like we're using him as a traditional number 9, and I'm just not sure he's that. If we're not using him as a traditional number 9, we're using him on the wing. He's not that either. So it might be best for him to just leave. I think he will leave next season. I think he'll be pushing, like Werner did this season. He'll be pushing to leave next season.
I don't know. I'm not sure of that, to be honest. I look at the way Pulisic and Ziyech played, or I did play today, and I just thought they were abysmal. And I know he's been bad, don't get me wrong, but I just feel that when you look at Havertz at the moment, I think he's trying to do things at the moment. And if you listen to his interview himself, he even said himself that he knows the most important things to do, that he feels that he needs to do more rather than running around is assisting and scoring goals. And I think he knows that and he wants to do that. I just think that, again, where I agree with Monstar is that I think the way that we are utilising him specifically, I don't think works. Some people may feel that he's not good enough and he's not good enough for Chelsea. That's fair enough, or he doesn't have the ability. I don't think he's consistent enough in his performances. I think that's another thing that stands out massively. He seems to be better in the second half of the season than he is in the first, which is a problem. And you can't keep using the tag of being a young player. You know, he's been in the Premier League for his 3rd season now. But still, I feel that we need to have, I think, to see the best of Kai Havertz, I think you need to have him closer to someone. There's someone that he actually can link with and run off.
You guys just need to buy a damn striker.
Yeah,
we just need someone, and it's not just that. Do you know the other thing as well, Kate? We need someone. It's not just a striker thing. It's not having the creative person in the forward line as well. We keep talking about.
I thought that was
midfield being well, no,
he can't do it. He's not good enough to do it solely. He needs somebody else.
Yeah, he's not good enough to do it solely. So what I'm saying, you need someone that can play in the forward line, that can create, whether it's driving and being direct and dragging players towards them, but having the driven ability to bring players with them and open the space for Havertz to run into or run off into. Because at the moment, the way that he plays, we just lump the ball up and he's got like 2 or 3 players around him and he drops deep and he just tries to do little 1-2s next to people. And when he runs off behind, 9 times out of 10, when he runs off behind, he's on his own. Half the time when I watch it, it's like how is
Aubameyang solving on it? And what you just mentioned, the issues are, Jem. How does Aubameyang solve that?
Because he gets
bringing in the Aubameyang scores your goal. I'm sitting on the fence with Aubameyang because I'm not exactly sold on him coming to Chelsea. I've said this already. I think the good part of Aubameyang is we know that he'll put balls in the back of net, i.e. the one against Tottenham where Reece James crosses the ball and it lands to Havertz. I think Aubameyang scores that goal. Yeah, them kind of moments, I think you see that. But the issue with not just having Aubameyang in is still that you haven't got anyone that's creating enough behind them. And that's my issue, because we rely solely upon our wing-backs to be the creators of this Tuchel system. And if they don't get high enough to support the forwards, and allow them to have the space, and they're deeper, we lose creativity, which means we look to the midfield, and we already know we haven't got that there. So if you haven't got that there, the next bit should be that someone from the front three that can be able to drop deep and create something or make something. We haven't even got that.
Yeah,
You know, and that's the problem.
I don't know. I feel for Chelsea, like I feel sorry for us. It's going to be a long season.
That's meant to be Mount and Havertz, but neither of them they're just both playing awfully.
Yeah, Andrew, what you saying, bro?
I'm gonna get out of here. You lot can continue, man.
Cheers, Monstar. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. Top man.
Peace.
We're gonna bring a bit more rivalry into this. We've got Lamin to come on. Brittany's backstage as well. True Chelsea. We're gonna bring a bit. There he is. Zane's there. To Avi says a Liverpool fan as well. But so Winter Surfer, what's your take on Kai Havertz?
I don't know. I'm starting to get to lower my expectations of Kai Havertz, so that when he does something good, I'm generally surprised, like just a normal pass. I don't know. Listen, I think the best I've seen of Kai Havertz is possibly in the Euros last year when he played off a front person. I think you saw him do well, but at Chelsea, I don't know, man. I think he's gone at the end of the season. I just don't think he can hack it. I really don't. I'm not having this. Oh, he tries hard. Players are supposed to run on the field. That's the minimum requirement of any footballer. I'm not having this try hard BS. Oh, he ran around, so he's played well. But I just don't know what he does. Like today, when he had a good pass from Mount to play for Sterling, the first goal, fine. But his passing is just so timid. And he always chooses the wrong option when he's in the box. Always chooses the wrong option. Do you know what I mean? So I'm giving up on him.
It just goes with the mentality of the players, though, Andrew, doesn't it? Because they
do you know what I was going to bring
there,
up?
do they? You know what I mean?
Do you know what's different? I think I blame Tuchel for that because he threw them all under the bus in pre-season. In pre-season, and he threw them under the bus publicly. When he was asked when we lost to Arsenal 4-0, he asked what the problems were, and I'm abbreviating. He says, "What do you expect? I had the same players. I've got the same players as last year." So. And you know what?
Winter Surfer, mate, you pull on something that's so important, right? That football fans don't often want. Man United fans, and I don't want to bring it onto Man United, but I'm using your example to back it up. When I hear United fans say, I want my manager to come out and say the squad is shit, the players aren't good enough, it's like you're an idiot, because all the players are going to do is goes, all right, we'll have some of this game. They'll throw you under the bus. Why? Because managers never outlast squads. Very rarely do they outlast.
Cheaper to get rid of.
It's a cheaper, easier thing to do. And twice Tuchel has done this. As good as I think Tuchel is, in December, I think with the way he tried to get your games called off, didn't, and then basically said, how are we going to cope? We're the only team that can't have a time off. That put seed of doubt into the players' minds that they weren't going to be able to win. And that comment you just put out there, how am I meant to win when I've got the same players as last year? No wonder the likes of Ziyech and Werner's gone, but Ziyech wants out. And you look at Ziyech as an example. The manager doesn't want him. He doesn't want to be here. His deal back to Ajax falls through today, and the manager picks him. That for me is a manager issue above and beyond the DM, above and beyond the system, above and beyond anything. That's just man's had bad news, like career-wise, bad news, and then you go and put him in an important position in your team in a game that you need to win. Yeah, it just strikes me as very odd, very odd.
And then he kept him on. He kept him on. He should
have just played pro
for 90 minutes. He didn't even use his fifth substitution tonight. Could have put Billy Gilmore on. Maybe try it out.
And you know what he should have done?
Fifth substitute for what though?
I don't. That's the problem.
No. What he should have done is play Bro up front and played Havertz and Sterling or Mount behind. That's what he should have done.
But you can't take off Mason Mount, unfortunately.
Why not?
No, you play Bro hard.
No, because our fans will go mental. Because
Tuchel, I thought you were being
because
serious.
Tuchel's not an idiot. Because if you bench Mason Mount, you're going to get a lot of backlash. and then he's already under pressure right now. So if you take
No,
off Mason
but-
Mount as well, it's going to
You
create.
play all
No,
four of
but
them.
you know,
David.
no, I'm sorry, no, but it's got to that point where he just needs to do it. Like,
I
he
agree.
probably
He
get-
should. I agree. He should,
Yeah.
but he would. He
No,
won't.
no, he will probably get more backing from the Chelsea fans, which I think is more important.
No, he won't. You don't know Chelsea fans, but okay.
So
mate, you
wait,
don't
so
know.
from the Chelsea fans that I see, that I think is a 50-50 split
It is.
about the Mount and the Mount thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're telling me that even the Mount fanboys who can clearly see him playing poorly won't accept him getting dropped for a few games if you guys are winning games.
Yeah.
No,
If you're winning games,
they
they'll
won't.
accept
They
it.
won't. They won't.
They-
They won't. The
I
match
won't-
going
They want
fans,
him in
the
there.
Well,
match
what you-
going fans will
but
not
he
accept
shouldn't
it. I'll
care.
tell you
He
that for
shouldn't
free.
care.
This is
Shouldn't
what's crazy though. I think about this for a while. Match going fans, of course, have got a voice, and you've actually got to face them, and it's hard. But the match going fans, I believe, are outweighed by the noise online, and the noise online is what generates the vast majority of the social media conversations, or all of them. It's online. And now the media pick up on it. Trust me, like I know what the media outlets do now. They go, right, what are Chelsea fans talking about online? The trending topic is Mount needs to be dropped. What you will start to see on the airways and on Sky and on BT is, do you think Mount should be dropped? They echo it. It's like we do all their research. They don't need to do any research anymore. Twitter is their research platform. What are fans asking for? Chelsea fans have just got to grow one here, and they've got to call these things out. There's favoritism at play. There's out of form players being picked, and it's damaging the start of your season. Like if Man United, this is the crazy thing. If Man United win or even draw against Leicester, our terrible start, if we win, like our terrible start of the season is better than yours. And we were being laughed at a few games ago. And listen, all it takes is Spurs and Arsenal to win a few more games and create a little gap. And there's a problem for Chelsea because we know that City and Liverpool are probably going to be number one and number two, and they're going to get really good. They always do. If Arsenal and Spurs start to create 5, 6, 7, 8 point gaps this early, that is going to be hard to catch up, especially Tottenham and Arsenal. They're both looking really good. But I wanted to ask Zane. Zane's here from a rival point of view. What are you saying, Zane? Keep it clean.
I will keep it clean, bro. Chat, big up. How you guys doing, everyone? Now, I've been listening, enjoying this. All these Chelsea fans, even Monstar, who's just run off now, right? Now, chat, what did I say? Who's a C-Tech Klopp, bro? Who is a C-Tech Klopp? And the question I want to ask all these Chelsea boys here, they've been chatting waffle for 56 minutes, bro. Absolute waffle. Bust some ice cream, pancakes, bro. Everything, bro. You might as well go and get a dessert now because these man are chatting, well, waffle, bro. At one point, have they ever talked about maybe it's the manager, bro? At some point, bro. At some point. Are we going to talk about the elephant in the room, the German sausage in the room, the German C-Tech Klopp in the room, bruv? At some point, these man, after 56 minutes, have to give you man in the chat the respect to talk about Tuchel. You Chelsea man's in there. I see you in the chat. The guys, you know what you're talking about. What about Tuchel? When you going to talk about Tuchel? Exactly, brother. Hold on a minute, right? Because before I make my point, I just want to make sure, you know what? Actually, hold on a minute. Hold on.
He's actually a 12-year-old.
I just want to make sure I'm seeing clearly, bro. I want to see clearly.
You're not even speaking clearly. At the moment.
Right? Now, from where I'm sitting, bro, it's all on Tuchel, bro. You lot are talking about the formation, the players. We go 1 down, 1-0. We don't fight back. Isn't that a mentality issue? Isn't that the tactics a manager issue? Isn't it a Tuchel issue, bro? This C-Tech Klopp, brother, is gateway murder. Let's keep it real, bro. This bear man, he gassing this guy back in the day. He's a tactical genius. Oh, he's gonna revolutionize Chelsea. You know what, brother? What he's revolutionized? I've seen him take a Frank Lampard Champions winning leagues squad to nearly bottling 3rd place, bro. You are a disgrace. You Chelsea man out there, give your big man chat about where this and that, bro. Humble yourself. That's why Monstar run off. I don't think I ain't forgotten about Monstar. He's lucky he ran off before I got him, bro. Because this man chats the hard most amount of noise. This and that. Now you lot are quiet, bro. And the fact is, right, I want to know why you're not talking about this C-Tech Klopp, brother. Speak to me, brother. Preach to me. David, bro. You're talking about, it's not this, it's this. Tell me about my teacher, man. Tell me about our boy teacher, bro.
Zane, I have a question. I have a question.
No. Answer my question.
No, I have a question. I have a question. I have a question for you. I have a question for you. What's 6 + 6?
Your mum.
He's actually 12 years old. He's actually 12 years old. That's such a 12-year-old thing.
Your mum. Zane, appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it.
I just wanted to ask about the Tuchel. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, go on. David, respond, please. Yeah, go on.
Oh, no. I do think Tuchel does have to take some of the blame. I do. But I don't think it's, sack him moment. It's just not. So, yeah.
I hear you on that. Zane, I appreciate it, mate. Thanks for coming on, bro. Thank you very much indeed. Lamin's going to be joining us now. Welcome to the show. And Winter Surfer, thank you very much as well, my friend. I appreciate it, bro. Top man. Also adding on to the stream with us now. Another rival, young Samuel here is an Arsenal fan, but Lamin, you're a Chelsea fan. Talk to me, bro. Talk to me.
Yeah, man. Just going back to the Kai Havertz question, yeah. I just see him as a jack of all trades and master of none, really. So thank you for the Champions League goal. I will have fun memories still. But if we sell him, I won't be too mad still, like if he goes. But for this game, I think Tuchel has to take major responsibility for this. Like, why are we playing with a back four when we clearly don't have the facilities for it? The whole reason why we're playing with a back five this whole time is because the midfield is shit. We have one world-class midfielder, and that's N'Golo Kante, and he's been carrying this midfield for so long. He gave Jorginho a career. Like, the Ballon d'Or shot for Jorginho, yeah. I just want to apologize on behalf of Chelsea fans, yeah, who came out and actually came out. I spewed that bullshit about Jorginho for Ballon d'Or.
Not me.
Like, I couldn't even believe that. But yeah, but this guy is dog shit, man. We actually need a midfielder to come in. Monstar was absolutely correct about that, yeah. But today, you just have to blame Tuchel for the system that he put out there. And unlike Ziyech, when I saw Ziyech starting here, I was actually confused because I didn't know that the move to Ajax had fallen apart. I thought, like, isn't this guy supposed to be leaving? Why is he playing? And yeah, the one thing that really pissed me off here, and it also pissed me off against Leeds, is that I want to see effort from my team. I don't want to see another team just like outrunning us, playing. No, it's not just about like them having the ball. Just they just put more effort into it. I was concerned from the second minute, like when I saw the effort and the intensity that Southampton had, and I was also concerned from the second minute against Leeds. That's when I knew that, oh, this could be sticky, but maybe we could ride it out. But no, like the players, they're either lazy or not good enough, or they're not playing for the manager. One of the three, and like either one is not good. So we need to sort it out. And this whole transition thing. No, let me just finish. This whole transition thing, yeah. People saying we are in a transition, yeah. There's no way you can spend like 250 mil pushing towards the 300 mil with the amount of money that we're looking to spend and just be like, oh, we're going to compete for top four. Like, people are forgetting we actually sack managers for less, way less than this. We've had Champions League.
Bro, you got a new owner. Roman ain't here no more.
Bro, Roman might be gone, yeah, but the culture of Chelsea is still there.
The
like, you can't.
Roman lives on. He's always around, working in Stamford Bridge.
No, I'm not Tuchel out here. I'm not Tuchel out here.
If you sack him, who are you going to get in?
No,
bro,
that's not the question.
They are managers out there. So let's not act like
if you're gonna sit here and shout, "Oh, Tuchel needs to do this, Tuchel needs to do that," oh, actually, the old Chelsea, he would have been sacked by now.
No, that's not.
He would have been sacked by now.
That's not the question. Let me ask the question, David. Let me ask the question. That's not the question. The question is, this is for Lamin specifically. You know,
you go. Yeah, go on.
Was Lukaku right?
Don't do that, man. Nah, you know what? Yeah, Lukaku had to go because, like, the interview, he had to take a lot of responsibility for his behavior. But that's neither here nor there anyway. What I'm basically trying to say is that
on that, Lamin, on that though, but that's why he did what he did. That is the reason that Lukaku.
Nah, that guy is a man child, bro. I'm not having it. I'm not having it, bro. You have to have a certain level.
Mate, you need to finish my point. You need to finish my point. The reason that Lukaku blame the system and the manager is that when these moments happen, it makes people go, "Oh, Lukaku weren't the problem." It's a very smart tactic. It's a very, very smart smart tactic, in my
That's not true.
my opinion.
Nah, I still disagree. I still feel like he brought a lot of that onto himself, and there's still a way to be professional about it, which he wasn't. And he got into his feelings, and basically the fans are always going to turn him. I'm not going to back Lukaku over a Champions League winning manager. I back Tuchel then, and now I'm saying, he got back. He got back 250 mil, and he's buying all of these defenders and everything. I'm like, cool, but he's not addressing the midfield. And if it goes wrong, it's his head on the stick, and we will come for him. We've had better managers, in my opinion, than Tuchel, when we sacked them. So I would have no problem if we're just out here struggling for top 4. Like, even if we get top 4, but we struggle for it, it'll be, and depending on what we do in the Champions League and that, it'll be very hard for me to come here and still back him, because he has to get the best out of this attack and this midfield.
I get you, Lammy. Listen, bro, thanks for coming on, all your support. I appreciate it, my guy. Thank you very much indeed. Adding Brittany to the show. Brittany, I believe Brittany's a Chelsea fan. But I will speak to young Samuel first of all. Welcome back, Brittany. Samuel, what are you saying as a gooner watching Chelsea right now?
Listen, it's a long day, but Chelsea fans, you deserve all of this, bro. You deserve all the corn that's coming to you. You deserve all the bad things that are coming to you. You might be going on about Arsenal, saying Arsenal have beaten all these lower sides and shitty sides. You played Leeds United. Listen, who were beaten the other day. You played Southampton, right? Southampton were beaten by Manchester United. They were beaten 4-1 by Spurs. You go up against them and you get outplayed, bro. Little Tommy Tuchel got out-tacticalized by little Ralph Wilson.
I don't think that's true,
Samuel, I just have one question. Do you know any Chelsea fan that has sat there and said they've been impressed with the start of the season?
Listen, I've heard some Chelsea fans. I'm going to mix his team. I know Johnny was
answer my question,
bro. I'm bring up Johnny, bro. Bring up Johnny against you.
But Johnny's one of a kind. You can't be talking about Johnny.
We're going to use Minerals Johnny as the barometer for the truth of
I know the fans of the bridge are all like Johnny. They suck off Mason Mount no matter what. And I don't get it. Why are you man signing Garvador for 90 million when you just put for fun?
Because he's very, very, very good.
Well, as of right now, there's a bit of concern, man. You got Kai Havertz playing in strike, and he's saying,
let me ask you a question, young Samuel. Let me ask you a question. Do you think Tuchel's going to turn this round with the window being over, 1 or 2 more players? Do you think Chelsea are going to turn this around, or do you feel like this is Chelsea for the season? Like, what do you think is going to happen from this point?
This is Chelsea for the season. I think Tottenham are far better than them. I think we're better than Chelsea. I think as of right now, Liverpool are going to pick up ground. So I think this is Chelsea for the season. They've gone on to back-to-back away days, been outplayed by both teams. They've only played 1 good game in 5 games so far this season. That was against Tottenham, and I didn't even beat them. So that's a sign of things to come.
Samuel, you know when you guys lost 3 in a row at the start of the season, last season, did you also say like that is us, like we're in a relegation fight? Or
yes, I genuinely believe that. I thought,
cool.
I don't see the players making a huge difference, man.
I get that. Young Samuel, appreciate you coming on, mate, and having your say tonight with the rivals. We're going to speak to Brittany in a minute, but we've been sent this video. This is from Have Hope, people. Enjoy.
Mount is garbage crap as an attacking player. Churchill come for me. Lizzie come for me. Prince William Harry Charles come for me. Mount is crap and garbage as an attacking player. I don't care. I'm coming to smoke. He's crap. He ain't too good. I'm tired of this freaking English media hype. It's me. It's H-Dom back. He's crap. He's useless. He's mid. Zero sauce. What?
Why was he leaning forward so much? She was like that. What was he doing?
He is trash. I love her.
Someone actually got logic. Oh my god, long day. I feel like a gal.
Long time no speak, Brittany. How are you?
I'm okay, Terry. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. Give me your thoughts on your team's performance tonight.
It's abysmal. It's shambolic, really, because people say we couldn't have fixed our problems within 1 transfer window. Yes, we could have. It's not that hard. We needed a creative midfield, and we needed a defending midfield. We needed a center back, and we needed a left back. We got Koulibaly, we got Correa. The midfield is just nothing has changed. We haven't even paid attention to it. In terms of attack, I don't think our attack is the best, but it's survivable if we have the creativity in order to create the chances. The reason why we got ran through today is our defense is good. But if they have no forward to help them, they're going to get overloaded and they can't function. There's no way you can expect the defense to stand up if there's that pressure there. Like, they know they mess up, that's it. That's the game done because we can't create anything in the front. There's so many things that we could have done. And in terms of just like transfer windows and that stuff, that's a whole other ballgame. But in terms of today, these players are not hungry. They're not, when you feel like the passion, the zeal, like you look at Sancho and how excited he gets to play for Man United as a young player, even though that's not his team, but he's excited. Watching Mount today, it looks like he doesn't know his left foot from his right. I just don't get it. Watching Havertz, Pulisic, all of them, it's just like there's no passion. You're running the ball around, you're passing the ball back, there's open space, no one's running into open space. It's the last 3 minutes of the game, and you're standing around allowing the ball to run out, no one's running around, there's no energy. Like, I don't get it. You don't want to win? I'm frustrated.
I totally get it, and I think for me, one thing I care a lot about in football is people working hard, and these players aren't. They're not running through walls. Canadian Cam's here, a rival to this. You've seen your team perform like that a lot in the last year, but what are you making of Chelsea right now? Is this Tuchel in the system? Is it the players? Is it because they're in transition? What do you think this is? Or is it just a bad run of form that's going to pass?
It's a couple of those things. The bad run of form is going to pass probably, but I did say at the start of this year, and I tweeted you when you said your hot take for the year, Chelsea is finishing 5th. That was my hot take. And
you said that for the last 2 years.
Huh?
You said that how many years Chelsea finishing?
I've always said you're going to finish fighting for top.
You always said we're going to finish.
This I actually said 5th, and I put it in writing. And it was because there's a lot of transition. And when you look at Tuchel, maybe David, you can definitely keep me honest on this, but outside of that Dortmund team, he's never really built a team and stayed long and done well. Like, he's not had a long stay anywhere. He's kind of one of those guys like a Conte, but not as good. Let's not even put him on the same level.
He follows Klopp around, isn't it?
So so he's not a guy who's shown that he's going to. Well, hold on, he's not really done the job of like this whole rebuild thing that's now having to happen, because every Chelsea fan, Jam, you told me you're in a rebuild. You need a manager who knows how to do that and who's done it before. And right now, it seems like his default was protecting himself a lot. I can't remember who said it earlier, but like calling out the players and whatnot. That works sometimes. You got to do it right, and the players have to trust you and have your back. The moment you start doing it, you start saying it's not on me. Look at the players. What do? They turn their backs. I mean, it started last year with Lukaku. It's now it's moving even further with all these other players, and he's getting some of them out. But you can't get enough in at the same time to refresh everything. And his talent evaluation is going to become put to task, because nobody can say Bowley's not trying to spend or do what he's asking for, but he's putting it all on Tuchel because he doesn't know shit. Listen, I was one of the first people that said Bowley would be great for Chelsea in the sense of he likes to spend, he likes to go after things. Everything you're seeing, the dinners, like he likes that. He's going to genuinely care. But if you don't know how to build a team, guess what that looks like? Manchester United. When you have a lot of money and you spend it incorrectly, you end up with a team of players that don't work. And I beg, if you get Frankie de Jong and you don't make the Champions League, somebody look at him and remind him, being like, hey, remember you wanted to play in Champions League year in, year out? Well, if you come to the Prem, that's not promised to any team other than Manchester City at this stage and Liverpool. It's not promised like that you're going to be in the Champions League. So bringing in Frankie may work, may not. Bringing in 16 defenders when you clearly need some attackers doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. So I don't know what he's doing. I think it's kind of, obviously it's Chelsea Football Club, so I'm not going to say they're going to be bottom of the table, 10th. I'm not going to say any of that dumb shit. But I will say I believe they're going to have a tougher year than they've seen in a while, because this transition is going to be tough. Like, they're going to need, without the right players and without getting those attackers in, where the goal is going to come from. It can't just be Raheem. It can't.
No, honestly, I actually think last season, the last transfer window was where things went wrong. What I'm starting to realize is each year, like this is a common fact in football, but I feel like you're starting to see it more and more now in this modern time. You need to keep refreshing the squad, because there's so many games, there's so many chances for players to get injured or tired or exhausted from the tactics, from just playing football. You need to keep the squad fresh, and Chelsea have not been able to do that. You guys still haven't got a right wing back. You guys are playing a center midfielder who's not good enough to play center midfield.
Okay, Jay, can I just say one thing? I think we're starting to go wrong, and this is my honest opinion, and I've been saying it for years. When you decided you were going to go buy Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, just because they were available, there was a lot of bragging about it back then. Oh, we had to go get him. One of these players going to come available, like again, like we got them before everybody else. And now look, they didn't fit. They don't make sense. So I think it started back then when it started to go a bit wrong. And then you're right. They didn't refresh right away. They didn't fix it. It's not like City where Pep makes a mistake, fixes it right away because he has that leeway. We've seen Klopp doesn't have it. Now we're seeing necessarily Tuchel doesn't have it. So when you buy in correctly, and Lord, they came for me when I said Kai was going to flop. But nobody's Nobody's DMing me now. Nobody's in my DMs. He's flopping. And unfortunately for him, they're not going to fix the problem fast enough. So that's kind of a big issue too. I think that was started a while ago.
Fair point being made there. We're going to bring some more callers in. I don't want to miss some of these super chats from earlier. I've never heard an honest review of Chelsea as Monstar do. My man is on point, is what Dev's got to say. Chelsea should go for pronounce that name for me. Some of my brain ain't working.
Kone.
I know the last name. I meant the first bit.
I ain't even gonna try it.
Come on, David. Sorry.
I don't think that's a real person.
Okay, cool. I don't know who that person is. That's why I'm asking.
I've never heard of him.
The spelling is killing me right now. When I told you Werner would foul in the Prem, I got laughed at. Now,
oh my God,
even though he is a good defender, he will flop in the Prem, is what Jerome said. Werner got a hat trick tonight, didn't he? It's funny.
Yeah, he did get a hat trick. And his finishing was actually very good as well.
You guys in the group chat, some of you may have seen it, some of you maybe didn't. It's busy in there, but when I think he missed a chance just before you guys sold him, and I said I think when he leaves, he'll start scoring goals again. It's
written in the stars.
Didn't suit the Prem. Is it just me, or is Hazertz the new Joe Linton, a CM playing as a striker? Play this guy in his natural position. Maybe it is that. Do you know what? Maybe he was able to play more advanced in Germany and in England. It's just a case of nah, bruv. This ain't a bit of you. Yeah, Chelsea fans chat proper nonsense, is what Trevor Dans has got to say. Lewis with a super chat didn't say anything, but thank you. How does Pulisic come off the bench and look tired? Pulisic, listen,
he's
Pulisic,
trash, bro. He's awful.
You see someone who's like been on you see that guy on a Monday morning at work who's been on a bender all weekend drinking, and they walk in, they're all arched over. I see him run when he first came on. He looks washed as a man. He looks shagged out. He is absolutely mangled. Terry asked David if Chelsea will still finish second.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh wow, big take.
Both of you, okay.
Havertz is this attacking central attacking midfielder. Cam Tuchel uses him wrong. Grey Wolf Dinner says Monstar is spot on. The midfield is the biggest problem at Chelsea. I hope Frankie De Jong is house hunting in London. Get Aubameyang and Frankie De Jong, and Chelsea will be fourth. That's okay. There is a report from a journalist saying that Man United talks with De Jong are still on, as something could happen decisive.
Is that Rudy? Yeah. Listen. Laurie Whitwell, Simon Stone, both of them man said we ain't getting nobody now after Dubravka. Hey, big oops. That's it, bro.
I agree, but we can dream. Hot take. Cho is better than Havertz and Mount. Callum Hudson better.
They're all in the same kind of
what we're doing. Look at what we're doing.
Revision. Chelsea cracks the results of 20 years of gluttony.
I think it's just.
I get what you mean. Yeah, that's a sin, isn't it? That's a religious thing, isn't it? Okay, Jane, gluttony.
Yeah,
I know what gluttony is. I know what gluttony is. I suffer with gluttony when I open a box of Pringles, but it's 2 boxes done. That's why I'm a fat bastard. I can't help it. Like I eat too much. I instead of seeing clearly, Zane speaks clearly.
No, he's just saying instead of seeing clearly.
Right.
Clearly. That's what he's
right. It made me laugh. You talk like a 12-year-old. What's it? Your mum. Terry, check Rudy's Twitter. I did that. Thank you, my friend. If you think Lukaku was bad, wait for Aubameyang. Is what Hitch has got to say. Super chat here says Thomas Tuchel is to sort himself out. He is 2-1 down, 80 minutes, and we still have 2 left backs on the pitch. He doesn't seem to know what is missing in the team.
Yeah, but remember how Chelsea attacked? They attacked through the wing back, so it's
through the
not
wing.
actually a
And,
bad thing.
Oh, God.
I said Tuchel's Champions League win had clouded Chelsea fans' judgment of his management. They laughed. I said since he came in at Chelsea, Chelsea have regressed, and they were too busy making fun of Arsenal to see.
I should say that,
True.
Arsenal fan.
No, Chelsea have not.
You know what it is?
Go on, Brittany.
Tuchel's not a bad manager. He just doesn't know how to manage the dressing room. And the only reason why he's been able to do it so well. No, I'm being so serious. When things go down, he doesn't know how to pull the team back. I'm not dissing Tuchel. I think he's good.
Brittany, I want to say to you, if that is true what you're saying, that makes him a bad manager.
That's
do you know what that makes him? That makes him a good coach and I'm not saying that's true, but if people believe that he's bad, the man management skills are the management element. The coaching and the tactic, that for me is just the coaching side of it. And I think it's getting those. Frank Lampard's probably a good coach, but he's an awful manager. Like the way he treats people. That's what I think, Britt. Listen, Brittany, thank you very much for coming on, having your say. Really appreciate your support you give the Terrace. Speak to you again soon. Next on the show, he's been waiting a while. True Chelsea FC sitting there in his gaming chair. What are you saying, bro?
Hello, Terry. Big up to you. Big up to the house as well. How are you guys doing?
Good. What do you want to say, my friend? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I mean, I am angry. I'm really angry right now. Yeah, the way we're
Let
playing.
it out. You don't sound angry enough. Let it out. Let it all out.
Yeah, I'm angry, I've been sitting here for a long time now, so my anger has a bit calmed down a bit. So,
I should have got you on earlier. I could have done with it.
I was filming earlier. I know you could see me. I was filming earlier. No, I mean, we just wanted to say, I'm gonna come from like a different angle, to everyone else. Everyone be saying that, Chelsea, that, the issue of Chelsea is because the fact that we don't have a striker, or, the fact that we don't have a DM, maybe, the fact that the players aren't good enough. But the thing is, looking at the way we play, to be honest, some of our players aren't good enough. They're not good enough. We know that. Like Jorginho, for me, is not good enough as a DM. And some other players, few players as well, they're not good enough. But when the way we play, you look at the way we move the ball, like there's no chemistry at all in this team. Like we have zero chemistry. The players can pass the ball like more than 4 times without losing the ball. Like I've seen that consistently every game. Like we cannot pass the ball more than 3-4 times without losing the ball. And we're not looking at the areas that I think we should be looking at, which for me, I look at everything coming from behind the closed door. And what I mean by that is from the training. Because everything that you do in training is what progresses into the game when you get into the game. When I watch Chelsea training, I don't see anything happening. Like I don't understand what's going on. Like everyone just kept doing like different stuff. Like we can't, when we play like 6v6, like these brothers can pass the ball more than 3 times without losing it in training as well. Like it's exactly what's happening in the real, like in game. Like we cannot lose the ball in training.
So what you're kind of saying, you're looking at Tuchel's training methods, his coaching, and everything. That's been an issue here. Yeah.
Yeah, I think his training method is what the issue, like what's causing problem.
Fair enough.
I think the player don't seem to understand what's going on even in training.
Yeah.
Like there's no positioning. It's like when they play in training, it's like they just give the ball to the goalkeeper. Put it.
I don't think it's necessarily that.
Put it out for the center and center back, and then the center back look for the midfield, and then the next thing is the midfield try to shoot and try to get a goal. Like there's no link up going on. Everyone is just like quick pass, shoot.
No, I listen. I hear you on that. I do hear you on that opinion. Thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say and waiting so patiently. Proper man. Thank you very much indeed. We've got someone backstage. Not very happy with that. I want to pronounce your name right. Is it Alec? Alec, there. What are you saying, my friend? You're on mute. Unmute your mic, bro.
So sorry. Hello, is everything okay? Can
Go
everyone hear
for
me?
it. You were disagreeing with that previous caller. What's on your mind?
Yeah, and I didn't mean to be so expressive about it. I just find it a bit weird that like there's no way you have that much training video in your files. So let's settle down a bit with that. But I respect the fact that at least there's a bit more like research-based thinking. So I can give credit where it's due. As for the game, I think it was no different than Leeds in a sense. I think our creation of chances was abysmal. And then we concede off mistakes. I mean, listen, the strike was very good from the kid. I rate him personally. But even Mendy got a palm on it. There's questions about him of late. They continue to rise. The Jorginho thing, I think we know the truth as Chelsea fans, whether we say it publicly, like guys like Monstar are able to say it more, others will focus on different things, and that's fine. But I will say is when people bring up the whole rebuild thing, it's important to emphasize that. Like the coach has said it on numerous occasions, we don't have a director of football. Tuchel has to both manage and recruit. It's like that's a bit heavy, especially when we have a scouting team, but for some reason nothing is happening with them. And as Monstar pointed out, like if they're not doing their job, that's millions going in the tank kind of thing, or in the waste. So I don't know. But for the game, I think the fact that we went down in the first half and we still had all the second half to catch up, and we never looked like we were going to get back in the game, as Jem said, I think it speaks to a different problem. I'll point out that like a few years ago, Maurizio Sarri once asked about our motivation as a team, like our mentality and motivation as a team. This was back in like 2018, I believe. Keep in mind, obviously, there were questions about his training methods, ironically, as well. But I don't know. I just watched a lifeless performance in the second half in particular. The first 20 minutes were more lively, more interesting. But other than that, it was just another typical performance where we saw a team work their way back in the game, defend well against us again, and then we couldn't find solutions out of it.
Yeah.
That's what angers me the most, though. I'll be honest with you. That's what drives me. When we're going to lose games this season, it will happen. Right. But it's how you lose games. And when you
100%.
lose games where you're going out in the second half and you're not creating anything, you're not having 4 or 5 good chances in front of goal, actually at least trying, you know what I mean, working hard as a unit, we can actually see and understand the way that we're playing, the way we're trying to move forward. You know, like you can see that we're trying to get things to. We didn't have that in the second half. And we had the same problem at Leeds where I look at them and I just think they all switch off. Like it's like they don't know what to do. It's like they forget that. It's like they've never trained with each other. That's how bad it looks sometimes.
I mean,
like,
again, I think. I mean, if anyone's played sport, like in your team, you always have a couple people who it's like you can teach them everything in the world. When they get in a situation to do something, they just don't know what they revert back to type and do something.
Of course,
and I think that's a personnel issue as well.
You get that in the fighting world. Like people can be the best in the gym, they do well on the mats, they do well in
100%.
sparring, and then they get into that ring for a real fight when somebody actually wants to punch them in the face, and suddenly they're not killers. They don't have it. Listen, my friend, thanks for coming on and having your say. I really appreciate it, bro.
Good to see you all. Take care of yourselves.
Cheers, my friend. Thank you. Mohammed, one of our legends and super fans, is on next. Mohammed is here. What are you saying, bro?
Yo, what's up, Terry? It's been a while, hasn't it?
Absolutely. What do you want to say about Chelsea's defeat tonight?
Yeah, personally, I think Chelsea are in for a long season. They haven't reinforced the attack and the midfield, and it looks like it's going to be very concerning for them. Because I personally had them to finish third this season, but seeing how Arsenal and Tottenham are this season, I just simply think that Chelsea are going to end up finishing fifth based on how they're performing so far this season. Obviously, it's like early stages and anything can happen, but the way I see it, just Chelsea are just going to end up fifth, and I think Tuchel might get the sack this season as well. I don't know when, probably in Christmas time. So yeah, it's one of those things. But yeah, if Chelsea do get a couple players in before the deadline, my opinion might change. But they're just the same old issues from last season where they weren't creating that many chances. And I would have to say Rudiger's going to be a big void to fill in as well. I know they brought Koulibaly in, but Koulibaly did look a bit dodgy today. I'm not gonna lie.
I I don't know. People are saying Tuchel gonna get sacked or Chelsea gonna struggle. Like, I just feel like we're just in a recency bias. Now, I love asking the questions. I love obviously having little jokes here and there. But no one was saying this at the start of the season, bar like Cam. You know what I mean? Someone like Cam, he has the right to say, like, yeah, it's gonna go pear-shaped. But right now, we've seen it. How many seasons in a row?
But KJ, we saw it in pre-season where your team loses a game and it's like, oh, your season's finished. Like, I don't know what's happened to fans. I think Twitter is partly to blame, but they have become so reactionary. Like, you go on YouTube and it's like Liverpool lose their first game, oh, their season's over. Then they win the next game, oh, they're back in the title race. Then they lose again, and it's like,
It's just that the recent season form, like Arsenal and Tottenham, look a bit more convincing when they play football.
I think it's about the statements. Like for me, I ask a lot of questions, and people often take my questions as my statements. It's mad. Oh, Terry, but you said you asked the other day on your show, do you think Rashford's good enough? That means you think he's world class. I'm like, no, I don't. It just means I'm asking the question. But like I've said, you need to improve the things I've mentioned. There are definitely things wrong, but that doesn't mean they can't be fixed. It doesn't mean you won't get better. And I think that for me is that would be where the overreaction is now. You listen, I'm not saying it's going to happen. We could lose our next 2 games. Man United win their next 2 games. Theoretically, we could go top. And this is a team 2 games ago. People were like, that's it. Wow, season's over. You're getting relegated. This early stages, you can turn these things around. But the next few days in the window are going to be important for Chelsea. They do need another goal scorer. They just need a couple of players that really give them a bit of an oomph. And then you maybe are going to start to see whether this is people not really buying into Tuchel or not. But we'll see. I've got a couple of super chats to do here. First one. David, with respect, bro, you were downplaying how bad we were for weeks. Even in pre-season, you said we were all overreacting. I hope you understand why some of us were reacting that way.
Yeah, but it's not the end of the season, so I still don't agree with reacting to pre-season so much. So, yeah.
You're there. 5 games in, and our midfield is already injured. That is a worry. That would be a worry to me as well. I know there's a lot of people waiting backstage to come on and have your Sam. Sorry, well, I've been an hour and a half in. It's late, and I want to get some sleep. I appreciate you all coming on. Everyone who's super chatted, our new members tonight, everyone who smashed that like button. Thank you to all the panelists that have come on tonight. A big thank you. We're back tomorrow night's match reaction is going to be mad. So we're going to be ready to go live at the end of the first game, but we're essentially going to go with the biggest story of the night, to be fair to our viewers, but we will be covering all of the games, talking about all of the games. I got a nice mixture of a panel of all the big top 6 teams that are playing tomorrow night. So make sure you're tuning in. Ben Jacobs on tomorrow afternoon as well. And just watch out for Frankie de Jong news tomorrow. I think there'll be some, I don't know who it's going to be from, but there'll be some Frankie de Jong news tomorrow, I think. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless.